there, I'm Andrea Klim, and I want to thank you for tuning in to Turn to the Stars. Today I'm going to be covering a big event, and it is one of the most pivotal events or moments in 2021. And this is regarding the Aries Full Moon happening on October 20th at 10:57 a.m. Eastern Time. So this is such a big event because Mars, the ruler of Aries, is fully activated, and Pluto is as well, which is the co-ruler of Scorpio along with Mars, is also activated. And Mars, the original ruler of Scorpio, is fully activated, and this sets up a precursor towards a few moments of, not even a few moments, a few months of build up to the big event coming up in February, which is when we experience the Pluto return in the United States chart. So Pluto has gone by transit all the way around the birth chart and is returning to the spot it was at the time of our birth. And so this is going to be the first time since July 4th, 1776, that Pluto will return back to its original birth natal position. The upcoming full moon is the activator as it occurs at 27 degrees in Aries, and it is opposite the sun at 27 degrees Libra. And as you know, when the sun and the moon are opposite, they create the full moon effect. There's that pull, there's that awareness, there's that tension of and awareness of others. So Mars is going to be in a conjunction at 23 degrees right next to the sun at 27 degrees of Libra. And this is a very, very important because Mars rules Aries, and this is the Aries full moon. So Mars is going to be opposite the moon on this full moon. And this full moon is going to set up a lot of tension that needs to be resolved. So it's going to bring it to the surface. And because we're in Libra, which is where Mars and the sun are, tension will involve how we relate to each other and whether we're in harmony and balance or not. It may include the justice system because the scales for Libra bring up the justice system. So the thing to remember is that Aries is engaged with your ability to create forward momentum. It's a fire sign. It brings energy, passion, and a fresh start. So even though this is a full moon, and because we have the first sign Aries opposite Mars, which rules the first sign of Aries, there's also a lot of new beginnings energy with this full moon. So if we move on to Pluto, now the sun and Mars are creating a double square to Pluto, and the moon creates a square to Pluto. And that means that this is going to be a very intense T-square that's created to Pluto in Capricorn at 24 degrees. So this full moon takes place at 27 degrees, and that is the degrees that Pluto will be at for its return in February. 27 degrees of Capricorn. This means now we are starting a period where the intensity will be growing, and we're going to be feeling it not just in the US, but also across the world, because this forecast is for everyone. As you know, what I'm looking at is a universal chart for this full moon. So it's energy that is affecting the world by the planets that surround us. So this event gives us some indications of what is building as we approach February 20th. Mars is squaring Pluto, is going to create a very strong purging effect where Mars is firing up the purging. Pluto rules actually being in power and also having to use your intuition in order to stay there, in order to not be pushed or taken off guard. So the intuitive side is also very activated because Pluto is incredibly psychic. The word power is going to be very much at play here because everything related to powerful positions is going to be undergoing a purging effect. There's going to be an intensity around holding people accountable for where they stand in any respect, both in their personal lives and their public life. So with the T-square, we look to see what compulsive patterns need to be purged. This is extremely powerful and volatile energy, which can be used in a positive way. So this forward momentum is speeding things up. First, it doesn't happen externally. The external is always a reflection of what we feel inside. Pluto is connected with purging what comes from inside. So this is a time to look at how we might be disempowering ourselves or how we might resist release. And on top of this, we have this opposition to the full moon. So this is ultimately going to bring awareness by looking at the opposite polarities. So there's something that's going to be reflected back. This can be in your personal life. It could be worldwide events. Whatever that is, you want to consciously purge the habit, the perception that is outdated in order to balance that energy and stay grounded. Otherwise, that big tsunami effect of energy that's playing out now will sweep you up, and that's not what you want. You don't want to be going down a rabbit hole of drama. This full moon energy literally symbolizes leadership. Aries is a fire sign, a leader. External life, abundance, courage, having a big vision, trusting in eternity, trusting in something that is greater, a force, a universal force that is there at all times. This energy can give us the strength to be connected to heaven and earth at the same time in a place of trust. So once you've tuned into that flow, nothing will feel off or wrong because you are literally allowing yourself to be who you are in that moment and to tune into the feelings that you want to have experienced. Feel that feeling. Go out in nature. Feel the external abundance of life itself. So this governs any wealth aspect in your life, which is feeling good and good health. This is a great time for recognize the terms in your life that bring you pleasure and the ability to see that abundance of confidence within you when you trust in the eternal. So with Mars beside the sun now for this powerful full moon, it strengthens our instincts. So this means you can really apply imagination, unleash your imagination, and it is lined up instinctually to passion. This can be an amazing moment, especially if you haven't felt creative or in tune with your imagination. Mars is firing you up to move into that space. And one way to do that with Mars is literally to move as Mars rules. Physical exercise. It rules anything to do with moving your body in order to release tension, in order to feel the strength, in order to create that blood flow. So during this full moon, you want to release any internal aggression through physical exercise, as it has such an amazing instant way of allowing any hot temper or any emotional attachment that is rigid to become flexible again. So leave room for moments of movement and of meditation and allow your instincts to guide you. This is important because as things heat up and intensify, you're going to notice there's going to be a direction that certain parts of the world will head towards. In the end, you're going to have to make a choice on the energy flow, the frequency you want to be involved in. And in order to do that, you're going to need to be at peace, and you need to be well rested and flexible and open so that you have clarity to resist falling back into old patterns. This is about letting go of so much. This energy is also very creative, so you can channel it into any project and make a lot of progress now. The full moon is in Aries and the sun is in Libra. Now, these are cardinal signs, and cardinal signs begin each season. So also at this time, we have a new forward momentum because we have 4 planets that are stationing direct, meaning they're changing position, they're changing their direction. They're not going to be retrograde anymore. On the 7th of on the 7th of October, we have Pluto station direct. Now we have Saturn stationing direct right before the full moon, and then Jupiter station direct on the 17th, and finally Mercury station direct on the 18th. This is 4 planets within a 2-week period who are moving from retrograde to a direct motion, and that's another sign that energy is speeding up. So to understand how the planets move, and that when they change direction, there's a pivotal point being created, and the fact that this full moon is the first sign of the zodiac, indicating really a fresh start in so many ways, this is a time to basically cut loose and let go. Allow the past to be the past. You can get very caught up in how things should be based on your past experience, and this is a moment where there is going to be no guidebook, no playbook that will allow you to navigate this energy, because it is so fresh, so new, ushering in something that has never been experienced before at this level in human history. So sparks can fly when Mars and Aries and Pluto all come together. And then, of course, the sense of balance is brought in by Libra. So you want that inner tension that's coming up with this T-square between these 2 planetary rulers of Scorpio, which is such a deep sign. It brings up all the unconscious stuff, all the stuff that is below the surface. Scorpio allows us with its stinger to go and find the true source of the original source. And the original source is the universal source. So there's so much coming together here in this particular full moon. And that is just incredible, very exciting, and it does include power. So let's look at Pluto. It's the big power planet besides Mars, which is initiating this shift because of Pluto. This is about power and empowerment. When you start to own your own power, you start to utilize your voice, and then you become unstoppable, just like Mars. So how you show up vibrationally is just as important as things you say and the things you do. In fact, it fuels those very things, so that if you really want to create a change in your world and the world in general, examine how you are showing up vibrationally. So if you show up agitated, angry, or fearful, which is the shadow side here of this full moon, then guess what's going to come at you? So you can start right now by just grounding your energy, coming to your heart center and asking, what do I need to know about the current situation? And see what surfaces. Maybe there's no control issues to look at. Pluto governs control because it is aligned with power. So pay attention to where you could be trying to control somebody or something in your life. And now let's move to release, because Pluto also governs purging. So if you notice that fear or anger is coming up, deal with it. Don't worry where it's coming from. Don't go to the past or ask yourself, why am I angry? Instead, just acknowledge that it's there. It's coming up for you. It's an emotion. So you just acknowledge an emotion as it shows up. And just like you show up in the vibration that you wish to feel when an emotion shows up, you acknowledge that in the moment. Acknowledge how it makes you feel in your body. This is super important because we are physical beings, and our body is our first real physical 5-sensory organ that allows us to see something feels off or something's in the flow, and you feel that in your body. So give yourself permission to sit with that emotion as it comes up. And in the giving of the permission, it allows any other instance of that expression that's ever occurred in your life, that's ever been suppressed, to be integrated in you, because you're giving it your full attention. You're not judging the emotion. You're not trying to figure out why it's using your mind. You're literally just being with the emotion, being with the frequency, and giving yourself that permission. This is the release, and this is literally how you release anger and aggression and anything that comes up for you. That is an interference frequency. The only thing I just want to mention here is that we have a beautiful connection also between Mercury and Saturn, which is very helpful during this full moon because boundaries are extremely important right now, and Saturn governs boundary, and Mercury will have just station direct, which means it is at a standstill. And when a planet is at its standstill, it's most powerful. So Mercury, communication, thinking, making decisions, trying to Saturn is such a gift because it's creating wonderful new structures of communication, new honest ways in which we connect with each other. And so this is exactly what is necessary in order to move the whole approach. We're talking about what we're looking at to be nourished from a place of true honesty, which Saturn represents. So Aries, that Aries full moon symbolizes pushing ahead. Saturn, Mercury, and Libra keeps us in stillness. We always have both movement and stillness, whether it is music or life itself. Libra likes to press the pause button to help us listen to the scales. We need to listen to stay in balance, and Aries is that internal fire, that passion that helps us to literally create something and take the energy of inspiration and instinctual awareness and allow it to flow. Allow your creativity to be activated. So again, remember that this is a cardinal T-square. Cardinal signs are about new beginnings because each of the 4 cardinal signs begin our seasons. They represent a new lease on life. So you want to stay strong. You want to stay really in a place of peace and passion. This is a chance to really allow us to own our own life, own everything that's going on. Remember, when you own your own power and you utilize your own voice, you are unstoppable. And nothing will take you off guard. You will just be present. You will listen. You will align to your breath, and you will be an instrument of peace during these times. So have a most magnificent full moon in Aries. Remember, Mars is totally part of this shift, and the divine feminine and masculine energy is being recalibrated and rebalanced. And I just want to say thanks for tuning into the stars and wish you peace and the realization and the ability to know what it is that's holding you back from being completely in this place of peace, which is the Libra energy. So thanks for tuning in, everybody. And remember, turn to the stars and you'll find your answers there. Take good care, and I'll see you next time.